The first charges are being rolled out against some of the soldiers that have been alleged by the Ukrainian government to have participated in the torture, mistreatment of civilians in Ukraine. Just earlier today, actually, criminal charges came out against 10 Russian soldiers that are said to have been involved in the torture of civilians, specifically in what happened in Bucha. Now we know that there were massacres and there was things like this in a lot of different places, but that's what we have so far. There was a Facebook post by the Ukraine's general prosecutor saying there had been charges made against soldiers from the 64th Separate Motor Rifle Brigade, including sergeants, privates, and corporals. And the reason that we let you know about the specific one is that is a particular motor rifle brigade that had been honored by Vladimir Putin earlier this month. He gave them the honorary title of Guards for Mass Heroism. Now she is saying that is proof that Vladimir Putin knew what they were doing, or at the very least approves of what they were doing. Putin and the Russian government says, no. They have been lied about, these soldiers. They didn't do any of these things. They didn't, like handcuff people and then shoot them in the back of the head or anything like that. They didn't literally rob them as they fled the area and all that. And thus they need to be honored because they've been the targets of foreign propaganda. I can't say for sure which it is, Anna. I have suspicions, but what do you think?
Right. I mean, listen, I think that it's smart to be cautious with any narrative coming from either side, including what we hear from the Ukrainian government, because they have their own interests. And oftentimes some of the propaganda we get from the Ukrainian side is meant to bolster the, requests that they have for more weaponry and all that. I want to give that caveat before I say, I definitely don't trust anything coming from the Russian state. They've lied. We've seen the kind of brutality that they've carried out toward Ukrainian civilians when there have been, a perfect example is the maternity ward bombing that happened relatively early on in the war, and how they tried to play it off as nothing more than a false flag operation. This is part of Russia's playbook. We saw it carried out in Syria. I really wish the American left was a little more savvy in rejecting the narrative that we heard from Russia in regard to chemical weapons in Syria. But nonetheless, we're seeing that same propaganda being carried out in Ukraine, and I'm not buying any of it. At the same time, though, obviously be cautious with narratives coming from the other side as well. I usually like to rely on third-party analysts who have hard data to share to give us a real idea of what's happening on the ground.
Exactly, yeah. And look, you try to get information from as many sources as possible. You try to provide caveats, as we have done, 1,000 times through the course of this conflict. Nobody ever acknowledges it. Hit the other side. If we ever got anything wrong, despite all the caveats and tell people to constantly use grains of salt, they would immediately said, no, they presented it as they were hysterical about it. No, we're trying to we are trying to understand what's going on, and also trying to make sure that other people know it's a collaborative, ongoing, evolving process.